Ranking the best receivers in Madden 25. And boys, we are back here with another tier list update. Today, we're going to be taking a look at the receiver position. Before we get into today's video, I do want to talk about our sponsor real quick, MMOEXP.com. If you guys want an alternative to buying packs, consider buying coins at MMOEXP and make sure to use code DILL at checkout for 5% off your order. Now, before we do want to get into the new cards today, I want to take a look at the old tier list where actually a lot needs to change. And we're going to start by dropping everyone from A down 2 tiers. And one thing I am going to change right here, I'm going to keep Trent Scott and Trent Williams like right by each other because I feel like their main value is as like a run blocker, and I think they just have C tier value with that because of their just insanely high run block, right? And now this right here is what the tier list is going to look like before we get into the new cards. Kept Jameson Williams by himself in the A tier. I think he's just ever so slightly better than the B tier guys. I can see some arguments though, because again, like Brian Thomas Jr., Calvin Johnson have insane height as well. Can definitely see them maybe being argued higher, but just base card, I'm going to go Jameson Williams. First card we got right here is Black History Month Deebo Samuel. Starts off at an 82, and you can upgrade this card to a 94. This card has 94 speed, 95 acceleration. He is 6 foot. Basically, every card we're going to cover today hits 90s for every route running, so everyone's going to hit the route running thresholds. And this card as well, of course, does get discounts. 2 AP short and 1 AP grab and go. It's nothing crazy. For me, Deebo Samuel, I feel like this is just like a C tier level receiver in the game. After that, we got Demario Douglas, who is 92 speed, 91 acceleration. Hits 90s across the board for route running. He is 5'8", and this card doesn't get like any discounts or anything. This is going to be a card that I would say is in the F tier. And right after that, we get Marquise Brown right here, Hollywood Brown. I think this card's pretty interesting. I mean, he's 94 speed just base right now. It's 90 for medium, 90 for deep, does not hit 90 short, but these like game day buckets right here, I think it's pretty cool. Like 1 AP jukebox of Chiefs wide receivers have 11 plus receptions, deep and elite if he gets 80 plus yards. Like, I don't really think that changes his placement. I think no matter what, again, this is just a C tier level receiver in the game. And after that, we also get Jahan Dotson right here, and Jahan Dotson is 5'11", 182, 94 speed. This time does hit 90s across the board for route running, and mid and elite if the wide receivers, Eagles wide receivers have 8 plus catches, and red zone threat if he scores a touchdown. I think that's cool, but again, he's going to be right by Hollywood Brown for me in the C tier. And now after that, we get Drake London right here, and Drake London is 6'4", 94 speed, 95 acceleration. Again, does hit 90s across the board for route running, and this time, if you are curious, abilities on the card does get 1 AP red zone threat. Again, I think this is a pretty solid receiver. He does have some good height. I just think he is like tier worse than like Calvin Johnson, Brian Thomas. He's going to be another option in the C tier. After that, we get 94 overall AJ Brown, one of the Road to the Super Bowl head-to-head events reward cards right here, and this card is 95 speed. He is 6'1", of course, with 90 short, 90 medium, 93 deep route running, and this time 78 run block 2. I think it's kind of interesting on receivers. Mid and elite for 1, route tech for 3. Don't really think he gets great discounts, but I think this is a very solid receiver. I think AJ Brown is a B tier level receiver. After that, we get Xavier Worthy, and I think this card is absolutely amazing, especially for his price. Currently going for 300K, 97 speed, 95 acceleration. He is 5'11", hits 90s across the board for route running. This time as well right here for his discounts, it's nothing crazy. It's 1 AP human joystick, 2 AP deep and elite. I don't think I would run any abilities on this card, but I think this is an S tier receiver in the game. Yes, I do think he's better than Jameson Williams, and I think he is a pretty easy addition to the S tier. Also, real quick, looking back at something, I'm going to bump up Malik Neighbors into A. Right after that, we get 94 overall Joe Horn right here, and this card is 6'1" with 95 speed, 95 acceleration, does hit 90s across the board for route running. And my favorite thing on this card is I like this card a lot because he gets 1 AP short and elite, which is actually pretty easy to fit in for AP. And for me, short and elite and route tech do a lot of the same things. I know it's not a 1-to-1 all the time, but this is something that is a very good man beating ability. And for me, Joe Horn, I think that gives him A tier value, and I kind of want to bump up TJ Hoots-Manzada that also gets the 1 AP short in, and I do think I'm going to do that. I'm going to put him on the B tier level as well. But I really like this Joe Horn card again because of the 1 AP short and elite. Like, if we were going base card for base card, I'd probably say Brian Thomas and Calvin are better, and maybe some other people on this tier could be argued too, but Joe Horn with that 1 AP short in, I think he just has that little bit extra value compared to the B tier. After that, we get 94 overall Gabe Davis. This card is 6'2", 94 speed, 96 acceleration. It's 90 for medium and deep route running, does not hit it for short, and this card also for his discount abilities gets 1 AP outside apprentice, 2 AP deep and elite. I feel like he's just like a receiver in the game. I'm going to go ahead and say he's also in the C tier. After that, we get roster revolution DJ Moore, and this card is 6 foot, 210, 94 speed, 95 acceleration with 90s across the board for route running yet again. And this time DJ Moore gets 1 AP human joystick, 1 AP jukebox, 1 AP slot apprentice. I don't hate the 1 AP slot apprentice, but I think this is a card that would just be by like the 95 Brandon Stokely for me again in the C tier. After that, we get Demarcus Robinson, who is 6'1", again 94 speed, 94 acceleration, does hit 90 for short and 90 for deep, does not hit 90 for medium route running. And this time for his abilities, he goes ahead and gets deep and elite, mid out elite, and slot apprentice. I'm willing to say is on the C tier level. After that, we get aka Obj Jennings right here, and this card is 6'3", 95 speed, 97 acceleration with 90 short, 90 medium, 96 deep route running. Also really good run blocker as well. This card for his discount abilities gets third down threat for 1, deep elite for 2, and mid and elite for 1. No start on X factors on this card. I think this is a card that is very close to the A tier for me. He's going to be right by like Calvin Johnson. For like Calvin Johnson, Brian Thomas are probably my favorite cards in this tier, and Obj Jennings, of course. I can see these cards argue in the A tier, and I don't hate that take at all. And after that, we're going to get back-to-back OBJs right here. The first one is the lower overall, the 94. This card is 5'11" with 96 speed, 93 acceleration, does hit 90s across the board for route running, and even decent run block as well. And this card this time gets jukebox for 0, route tech for 3, double me for 4. Nothing like, I mean, the jukebox for 0 is nice, obviously 0 AP ability. Then the 95, we're going to rank these cards right by each other. Do I think this card's worth his price? No, but he is 97 speed. Again, great route runnings, hits all the thresholds, and even again, decent run block. This card gets basically everything the same besides just like double me and route tech for 1 less AP. I would again just run the jukebox for 0, but for me, the 95 OBJ is going to be another card in this S tier, and the 94 is going to be a card that joins this A tier. And right after that, we get 95 overall Adam Thielen, and this card is 6'2" with 94 speed, 94 acceleration. I mean, the fact that he's an LTD going for like 600K is kind of tough too. 90s across the board for route running, and this time for his discount abilities, short and elite for 1, I do like. Slot apprentice for 1, slot-o-matic for 2. Adam Thielen B, and then TJ Husmanzada drop back down to C. I think he's a nice in between to like Joe Horn and TJ, so yeah, Adam Thielen in the B tier, don't hate that. After that, we get Khalil Shakir, and this card is 95 speed, 96 acceleration with 90s across the board for route running, and Khalil Shakir again for discounts. Human joystick for 1, slot-o-matic for 2, and I think Khalil Shakir just kind of joins this big group in the B tier yet again. After that, we get 95 overall Calvin Ridley, and another roster revolution LTD with 94 speed, 96 acceleration, 90s across the board for route running. He is 6'1", by the way, too. Did not say that, but does have deep out elite for 2, mid and elite for 1, outside apprentice for 1. I think this is a card that again just joins like a big group in the C tier. After that, we get 95 overall Keenan Allen with 95 speed, 95 acceleration. He is 6'2". This time as well right here, 95 short, 95 medium, 93 deep route running, and for his abilities this time, can potentially get red zone threat for 0 or slot-o-matic for 1. I think these two things are very interesting, and I like the slot-o-matic for 1 actually. I think that gives him value by like Joe Horn in my opinion, right? So I'm going to go ahead and slightly place him in the A tier. Very similar thoughts to Joe Horn and Keenan Allen. It's really more ability based than like their base card. After that, we get Reggie Wayne right here, Super Bowl Reggie Wayne. And this card, as you can see right here, does get some boosted stats by upgrading with his lower overalls, and he will get +1 speed. So this is actually a 97 speed card, 96 acceleration, 6 foot height, hits all the route running thresholds. And this time Reggie Wayne for abilities, he gets a start on X Factor, so all these can start on, of course. Besides that, gets 1 AP basically everything for a receiver. Like you can get the 1 AP short end like we talked about, and also right here gets 0 AP mid and elite, 0 AP red zone threat. The rack 'em up is super interesting because there's now 2 cards in the game with the bottleneck X Factor as a base ability. This is a good way to counter that. So I think Reggie Wayne, in my opinion, because of that, I think he is the best receiver in the game right now. He's definitely in this S tier, and he just gets an ability that can actually help you versus the bottlenecks, which I think are going to catch on pretty soon. And I think it's going to be pretty dumb. Like the new meta, like man coverage, like shade down and then user pressing, I think it's going to be pretty dumb, and we're going to need more cards like Reggie Wayne. And right after that, we get Deion Sanders as well. And Deion is 6 foot, 185, 96 speed, but again, with the upgrade can be 97 speed, 99 acceleration, great route runnings, and 99 change of direction. Like looks absolutely amazing. And this time as well, same exact thing with the 1 AP abilities and start on X Factors. For his discounts though, jukebox, red zone threat for 0, don't mind that. Yak him up for 4, I wouldn't run, but it would be like kind of like a more fun ability. But this is a card that I think again easily in the S tier. And right after that, we get DeAndre Hopkins, a Super Bowl present card right here, and this card is 96 speed with 90s across the board for route running, and he should get like all the 1 AP abilities and everything as well. So DeAndre Hopkins, 96 speed with that ability stack. Ooh man, A or S tier for him. I feel like this is a pretty tough one. I think he's either going to be the best card in A or slightly make S for me. I'll slightly place him in the S tier. I think we'll have a little bit overloaded S tier, but I like D Hop being here. After that, we get Devontae Smith as well right here, and this card is 6 foot, 96 speed, 90s across the board for route running. And take a look at these game day objectives right here. +1 speed to the card if they complete 3 20-yard receptions. Could be a 97 speed receiver. Does get jukebox for 0, short and elite for 2 AP, and it'd be minus all 1 AP too. So could be another short and elite for 1 type of receiver. Also as well, +1 agility and outside prints for 0 if he has 50 yards receiving in the second half, and +1 deep route running and mid and elite for 1 if Smith has a 60-yard touchdown or 100+ receiving yard. Right now, to me, he looks like worse OBJ, and I feel like he just has to complete some objectives to be in the S tier. And I'm going to place him top end of A right now, but this is a card that could go up just completing some of the end game objectives. But now right after that, we get 96 overall Justin Jefferson right here, who is 6'1", 96 speed, 95 acceleration, does hit 90s across the board for route running, and this time for his abilities, of course, Slot-O-Matic for 1, Outside Apprentice for 0. The one thing on Justin Jefferson, which if you guys have been watching the channel at all, we've talked about this since last year. Justin Jefferson and Cooper Kupp actually have this route running bug that like makes them run routes a little bit longer, and basically makes it to where they can't run a corner or a post. It's not and, so it's not a corner and a post. It's one of the two that is messed up on certain cards, and Justin Jefferson has been bugged like that since last year. I will still say he's an A tier card, but for me, it's like, I'm debated. Like, I could definitely see him in the B tier with that route running bug, so he's more like bottom end of A. I do like the Slot-O-Matic for 1, though, kind of similar to Joe Horn and Keenan Allen for me. We also get 96 overall Cooper Kupp right here, who was 6'2", 208, 96 speed, 94 acceleration, and 90 for short, 97 medium, 93 deep. This card as well right here, let's take a look. He can go ahead, of course, get all the start on X factors, and also as well gets things like the 1 AP short and elite as well. And Cooper Kupp is gonna be a card that I do slightly place in this S tier, and I'm gonna bump up Devontae Smith too, because kind of similar thoughts to these 3 cards right here. It's the 1 AP short end and everything. I think they're more along the lines of like S tier, and that like a step above like Joe Horn, Keenan Allen, and Justin Jefferson. And now final card right here, we do have the ranked reward. It got revealed. We should be getting him next month, so it's like ranking him right now, you might be like, it's pretty dumb. But again, we're going to update this tier list, of course, and we're going to have a better idea of where Calvin ranks. And 6'5", 236, 97 speed, 97 acceleration, does get all 32 team chems. So if you run a 40 out of 40 theme team, could be a 99 speed receiver, of course. And this time for his abilities, third down threat for 0, double me for 2, I think is the interesting one, because like we talked about, right? I think you're going to need both of those. Like, again, we're going to start getting more bottleneck corners, as we got Herb Adderley and also Jalen Watson with bottleneck right now. And that was the meta last year. If you remember last year, pretty annoying meta. But yeah, I could either see DeAndre Hopkins, Cooper Kupp, Devontae Smith more along the lines of A tier. I'm kind of 50-50 on it, but I'll lean them in the S tier. I think wherever you have one, the other two are right there with them. So yeah, boys, this has been my updated thoughts on the receiver position in Madden 25 Ultimate Team. Let me know your guys' thoughts down below in the comments. Let me know what you agree with, what you disagree with. Who do you think should go up? Who do you think should come down? And if you guys did enjoy this video, though, you enjoy content like this, want to stay updated with everything that's the best here in Madden 25, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. Now, if you guys do want to go ahead and see me use these cards live on stream, have been streaming on both YouTube and Twitch. To watch on the YouTube, make sure to hit that noti bell as well. You'll be notified every time I upload or go live here. Or if you guys want to watch on the Twitch, check the links in the description, hit that Twitch with a follow. But if you guys do want another video to watch, check out this one right here.